I've interviewed UFC legends, world champions. Your story is the most important that I think needs to be shared with the world. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, an active competitor, a partner in a law firm.
Just came back from 5 months of intense cancer treatment in which I nearly died.
You built a device so you can continue to train and compete and win competitions.
So I go online and check how to train with a Chemo Port. I couldn't find anything because nobody's insane enough to be doing late-stage cancer treatment and still want to do full contact martial arts. And ADCC Singapore Open, I managed to win.
You won?
Gold. Yeah, I won, yeah. So
that's amazing.
My family is young. I wake up and I tell myself, I have to go on. If it's not for me, it's for them.
Fear is a powerful motivator in our lives. How have you embraced fear or had to confront fear in your diagnoses?
I think this is the most important question you've asked.
And look, I wanted to start by just saying how I found out about your story. So I was online and then I saw this article about yourself and everything you were doing, and I was just blown away in like admiration and awe and inspiration of who you are as a person, you know, to be going through this fight whilst also competing, whilst also creating a device so you can continue to compete and actively train and do all these things, and you're a partner of a law firm. I was just like, I have to meet you. You know, I've interviewed UFC legends and world champions and all these different people, but for me, your story is the most important that I think needs to be shared with the world. So I'm just in awe of you, and thank you so much again I'm humbly grateful for
You're being too kind.
It's true.
I wouldn't say it's more important, but I think it's a good story to share, to allow people to know that just because you are very sick,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that your sickness will have to dictate what you do with the remainder of your life.
Yeah.
So for me, if I can share that and people can benefit from that, I think that's good.
It is. It is. You're a real inspiration for people that like, you know, people hear these sort of things or they go through this sort of process. They just think, oh, that's it. Whereas you are just constantly striving to do things and to achieve and to overcome things, you know?
I think, Kane, to be fair, I must first tell you that what I have now is not what I had at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was a lot. I was on a lot more tenuous grounds when I first found out about my diagnosis.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't even know if I could come back to Jiu-Jitsu. So I was diagnosed in 2018 with stage 3 nasopharyngeal carcinoma, also known as NPC in the medical term.
Yeah.
It's a cancer of the space between the nose and the throat. It's called the nasopharynx.
Yeah.
It's a genetic cancer, one that is quite common amongst people of my ethnicity, Southern Chinese.
Okay.
Due
Like
to
Hainanese or like
Hainanese.
Hainanese, okay.
But Southern Chinese would be the likes of Cantonese,
Fujian, Xiamen, yeah. Guangdong,
Guangdong,
Guangzhou.
Quzhou,
Yep.
Teochew, and whatnot.
Yeah.
So these people, they have a specific diet. I call it the coastal diet of a lot of salted fish. That's the problem. I consumed a lot of salted fish when I was young because my grandmother is Cantonese. In the Cantonese family, salted fish is a staple.
Wow. So is it, you think, because of the mercury in the fish?
No, it's the nitrates.
Oh, it's the nitrates.
Because once you dry and salt the fish,
Yeah.
it becomes carcinogenic by producing nitrates. So when you consume, those nitrates are highly cancerous. But you see, if you, like you,
Yeah.
you're of Caucasian ethnicity,
Yeah.
you don't have 20 generations of genetic history
No.
of your ancestors consuming salted fish.
No.
I do. Maybe even more than 20, maybe 30, maybe 40 generations. And there's a sort of like a genetic propensity
Yeah.
to get this cancer.
Plus the environment of like eating that as well
Exactly.
growing up.
But you know, there are people who have like migrated,
Yeah.
who have never lived a day in Asia. They migrated to Western world. They eat classic, like I know a Canadian family, they eat classic Canadian food
Yeah.
and still got the same cancer as I do. Why? Because of the genetic baggage that they carry. It is what it is.
Yeah. I know, like in my family, like bowel cancer is a thing, heart disease is a thing, but
Right.
like I'm sure that would be an environmental thing, like eating lots of potatoes, drinking
Correct.
lots of beer.
Correct.
We have an Irish ancestry, so I'm assuming there'd be something like that. But
So
you're right, though.
So even if you don't
Yeah.
consume the same, have the same lifestyle,
Yeah.
you could still get the same cancer.
Yeah.
But if you have history, and you consume the same lifestyle,
Double the.
it decreases the chances.
Yeah.
So for me, I never knew
Yeah.
until it's too late. I was diagnosed at stage 3, and I went through a harrowing treatment,
Sorry?
harrowing treatment process
Okay.
of radiation and chemotherapy concurrently. It was very bad. Nearly died. Hospitalized a number of times during that period.
How long were you in hospital for?
5 months.
One whole 5-month
Yeah.
block. Wow.
So I was out of training for about 5 months.
Wow.
My body was so broken. I lost 10 kilos. Not in the whole 5 months, in 1 month.
In 1 month.
1 month. And they have to maintain. Because if I lose too much weight, I could die.
Yeah.
It's common for cancer patients to die during treatment, caused by the treatment
By the chemotherapy or the radiation?
of both.
So it's both. You're doing both at the same time?
Yeah, both at the same time. That's why it was very hard.
Yeah.
The radiation lacerated my throat, lacerated my hormonal glands, my
Yeah.
salivary glands.
Yeah.
That's why my voice now it's broken.
Yeah. Did it affect your thyroid as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm now on thyroid medication
Yeah,
every day.
I take that as well. Yeah. I got a different thing.
So before this, I had a healthy thyroid,
Yeah.
but the radiation fried it. So I'm now
Thyroid's a big gland that regulates testosterone,
A lot of
everything.
things.
Oh, so many things. Yeah.
So now I'm actively on thyroxine,
Yep.
which I have to consume every morning as
Yeah.
you're aware of.
Yeah. I'm aware. Yeah. Okay. And so was this when you first got diagnosed that this all kind of happened, or like what happened when you first got diagnosed? How did you know or feel? Did you feel different or?
I had a headache
Yeah.
because the tumor was pressing against the base of my skull.
So it's in here.
So it's inside
Yeah.
my face,
Yeah.
and it was pressing against the base of my skull,
Yeah.
where there's a lot of nerve endings.
Yeah.
So causing me migraine round the clock.
Yeah.
I was on painkillers for many weeks. Went from the GP, who told me I might have an ear infection.
Yeah, because that's what they usually say, like a pain there, maybe headaches or something. Yeah, they go ears. Yeah.
So, because I had a blockage in the ear too, so I
Yeah.
thought, didn't go away. Gave me antibiotics, didn't go away.
Yeah.
I visited a specialist, ENT specialist, at a renowned private hospital, which I won't name. He couldn't even diagnose me. That visit cost me almost 2,000 ringgit, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Even if you convert the
The money to like Aussie or
poor
US,
Malaysian
something. Yeah,
currency,
yeah.
it's still a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's still probably around 500-600 USD,
Yep.
and nothing. He told me you probably have a sinus and ear infection.
Did you want MRI?
No, didn't. He gave me stronger antibiotics for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
At the end of 2 weeks, it still wasn't getting better. I received a text from a friend who was a doctor. The thing is, my teammates all know I love Jiu-Jitsu. It's very rare for me to be missing training often.
I could tell when I met you. Yeah, you love Jiu-Jitsu.
I love
Jiu-Jitsu is your
Jiu-Jitsu.
life.
It's my life.
It's your life. It's your passion.
Even at the time before cancer, I was doing it frequently.
Yeah.
I might miss the weekdays because of work,
Yeah.
but I won't miss the weekends.
Yeah.
By hook or by crook, I would be in training.
Yeah.
But my teammates, one of them noticed, hey, Jun has been missing because the headaches were so bad. I can't even focus, let alone train. So he texted me and said, "Oi, what's up with you? You've been missing." I told him I have an ear infection. Then I recall, hey, this guy was a doctor. He might know friends in the profession that can help me at a lower cost. Because I can be spending 2,000 every visit.
Oh yeah.
I will be
You broke in
Broke
no
in
time.
no time,
No
yeah.
time. Yeah.
It's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
money.
Yeah. And then from there, what happened after that?
So he asked me to go to a friend of his
Okay.
who
ENT?
was
An ENT?
for ENT,
Yeah.
doing his ENT training.
Yeah.
He's graduated, he has to do mandatory training
Yeah.
at one of the local universities, local hospitals.
Yeah.
I went there. He diagnosed me.
So it's a graduate that diagnosed you? So someone that wasn't even like a established doctor found
I mean, he's really a specialist doctor,
Okay.
but he really completed a specialist course,
Okay.
but he was still undergoing training,
Yeah. Yeah.
like postgraduate training.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Yeah,
He was good. Dr. Mike, who's now based in East Malaysia,
yeah. Yeah.
he is good just to show that age is no barrier to becoming good.
Yeah.
He was about my age at the time,
Yeah.
early 30s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Diagnosed me correctly, and as you know, I went through treatment after that.
I'm just shocked that like, there's a gigantic Chinese community in Malaysia, like a Malaysian Chinese, like that a doctor wouldn't have like thought, oh yeah, this must be like a specific thing
So
or
for this
you know what I
doctor,
mean?
he asked me, what is my heritage? Told him.
Straight away. Okay, it's the first question, yeah.
So he said, I just found a tumor in your nasopharynx. I do not know whether it's malignant or not. We have to do a biopsy for that. But you are in your 30s, Southern Chinese. There's a good chance it is
Yeah.
nasopharyngeal cancer.
Yeah.
Be prepared for it. Of course, I went through the biopsy.
Yeah.
It was cancerous. Went through all the scans, MRI, CT scan, whatnot, to determine how bad it was. And it was stage 3.
Okay.
So I went through treatment, 5 months.
Is that when you're in hospital we started this story? You were getting the chemo and you were getting the radiation at the same
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Okay,
It's very bad.
Yeah.
But I managed to survive.
Yeah.
I came back after that training.
Was it in remission?
I did a scan after the treatment,
Yeah.
and there was no evidence of disease. But it's not remission. Because cancer is a 5-year marker.
5-year marker. What's that mean?
You have to be no evidence of disease for 5 years
Okay.
before you're truly in remission.
Okay.
Otherwise, you cannot say I'm cured
Okay.
and
Okay.
in remission.
I understand.
In remission means you are cured
Okay. Okay. Understood.
in a way.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah?
Mm.
So I was on a break for 8 months.
Yeah.
From 2018 all the way to April 2019, I was on a break. In the sense that I thought my worst days are over.
Yeah. Yeah.
In April 2019, it came back. Not only did it come back, it came back with a vengeance. Back to where it was and spread to my lung. So it progressed the cancer to stage 4. And I'm in a,
They couldn't consider surgery at the time. The first time, then they
surgery is rarely recommended for NPC.
because of location.
You have to cut your face and it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
You only do it in a very, very specific
Yeah.
circumstances.
Yeah. Understood.
The risk of mortality is high
Yeah.
for that kind of surgery.
Yeah.
So doctors usually wouldn't advise
Yeah.
as a first resort.
So then it came back stronger and it spread as well.
So I was in a very bad spot. Not the optimistic person, you know.
Yeah.
I was just in despair
Yeah.
for maybe 2 weeks. Every night before I sleep, I cry.
Yeah.
Not because I fear death. I don't. But what would the people that depend on me
Yeah.
do upon my demise?
Yeah.
I have a young family
Yeah.
and they still need their father.
Yeah.
And that kept me up every night. Knowing that if I'm to die this early, they would all have a very they will have tougher life.
Yeah.
And it did cause me to despair.
Yeah.
But you know, after a week, I told myself, whether I like it or not, I have to go through this.
Yeah.
It's not a choice.
Yeah.
My family is young.
Yeah.
I need to go through treatment for them. So I could do this in a sad, melancholic manner,
Yeah.
or I could go in with my spirits blazing.
Yeah.
It's a matter of choice.
Yeah.
So, and it's something I could choose. I choose to do it on my own terms,
Yeah.
not in a very downtrodden manner.
Yeah.
Even though I have every reason to be downtrodden.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you do. But this is the thing. Like, have you ever heard of this book called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover?
No.
You familiar with it? Okay, so it's a book that talks about like the archetypes of masculinity, right? And I wanted to relate this back to you because I was reading this book at the time before I met you, and I just thought this is who you are. So there's 4 main archetypes, and the 4 main archetypes are king, how you look after your family, you conduct your business, yourself, how you govern these things. A magician, the way you use words to inspire, to help, or to be bad on the other way. Lover, how you love and support people in your life, your friends, your family. And the last one is warrior. And warrior in like today's like masculine culture is seen like as a negative thing, but you know, if you're too passive in life, then you kind of let things go by. You don't fight. And if you're too aggressive, then you see everything as a challenge you want to fight. But with you, that I see like to be a warrior, it means to be prepared for the unprepared. It means to be like striving and also protecting yourself, your loved ones, your family, all the things that are important to you, your culture, anything that matters to you in your life. And when I was reading this book and then when I met you, I thought, you are that archetype. You are the archetype of a warrior. You see that there's a fight, there's something you need to protect, and then you embody that through your training and also through this fight. So do you feel like jiu-jitsu and everything else that you've gone through prior to this point helped you fight what you need to fight?
Certainly. Martial arts, and in particular jiu-jitsu, certainly helped to shape the psyche that I have. And we are fellow martial artists.
Yeah.
We know there's a very popular saying among martial artists. It is better to be a warrior in a garden than to be a gardener in a war.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to have that mindset. You cannot call yourself a man of peace if you're incapable of violence, right? That's a very popular saying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you can't execute violence, you are not peaceful, you are harmless
Yeah, you are harmless.
because you're incapable of violence. You are only truly peaceful when you're capable of violence, but yet exert control.
Exactly. Exert control is
Yeah.
exactly the right phrase. Yeah.
So to me, I think it's important for every male to have that mindset. I know this world has become a little more emasculated,
It has.
but I grew up under a boomer father.
Oh, what, sorry?
Boomer. A boomer of a father.
Yeah, understood.
He's from the boomer generation.
Yeah.
My father was a gangster. He was in the triads. I can say this because he's passed away,
Wow.
my late father.
Yeah.
So he has a very no-nonsense attitude. For him, a man has to be strong and take care of his family. Weakness is not a luxury
Yeah.
that a man can afford to have. And being strong doesn't mean lifting heavy weights.
Yeah.
It is the strength we need to protect. So to me, that's why I do martial arts,
Yeah.
so that I can achieve that strength, not just physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah.
I think it's important,
Yeah, it is.
and it does help
Yeah.
to prepare a man for the shit that is to deal with in life. Sorry, can I curse on your podcast?
Yeah. Say whatever you want. Don't worry about that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's-
that's my take on it as well.
So when you were in that despair, like what brought you out to like, you know what, I'm going to fight this? Because I don't know what it's like going through this treatment. It sounds very painful and taxing and mentally and physically. It's not just like, oh yeah, you take a pill or something. It's a huge thing that you have to undertake whilst you're also juggling all these things, you know. So like, how do you gather that resolve? Like, I know the fighting helped prepare you for the unprepared, right? But how do you gather everything else to move forward and come out of that hole to go, I'm going to fight all these things and do the things I need to do?
I think I need to first preface
Yeah.
with what is cancer treatment like,
Yeah.
or at least late stage cancer treatment. Anyone who's a late stage cancer patient or is a caregiver or have friends or family undergoing the affliction that I am undergoing, they will know it's very hard
Yeah.
on the body and on the mind. Look at me, I'm a lawyer.
This is your whole moneymaker, right?
This is
the moneymaker,
This
literally.
is my tool,
Yeah.
and it's so broken. My body is broken. And after a while, your mind can only take so much. There are times where I go for treatment and I'm so tired that in my own moments of vulnerability, I actually cry. Not because I'm sad, not because I'm afraid of dying or whatnot, but because I'm just tired and I needed an outlet.
You need a release. Yeah.
And after that, I feel better.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is very hard. Now, how do I get this surge
Yeah.
of optimism and positivity? I actually don't know. I'll be honest. It's just that one day I come to an epiphany or a realization.
Yeah.
How the people around me will view my condition
Yeah.
and myself actually depends on how I view myself. I will affect them. If I go around with a broken, beaten up attitude, a defeatist attitude,
Yeah.
everyone would carry that vibe from me. And they would approach me in that manner. I don't want that. I want anyone to come to contact with me to know Jun is a bloody fighter. I get that vibe from him. I feel better. I want to fight too.
Yeah.
I don't want a situation where people come and see me and after that they leave thinking, I pity Jun. His life is terrible. I feel bad now. I don't want that. I want to be a beacon of positivity. Why? Not so much for the people that don't know me. It is for the people that have to deal with me every day. My family, my friends, my partners,
Yeah. Yeah.
my colleagues. These things will reach. How your emotions are, it will reach to others.
Yeah, it's true. You're absolutely right. I feel like, it sounds like such throwaway or like simplistic advice, but like I've always heard my whole life like how positivity is infectious, and it really is. Like I have never been through any sort of struggle like you have. What I feel is that when I've gone through had a negative mindset towards things, that it just spirals. But when I've been positive, when I've gone through different things that happen to me, knowing that the positivity infects like your relationship and with your family and your girlfriend and your partners and everything else around you. Like it's literally like an energy that you give off that radiates back towards you, you know what I mean? And if you have this, I'm sure it'd be hard to go through your process, but like to have that, to realize that this is going to help everything around you. Like it's as simple as advice sounds, it's actually quite insightful, you know?
We are all human at the end of the day. We are creatures of emotions. We have all these hormonal glands in our body, all these chemicals being released to tell us how to feel.
Yeah.
How we project ourselves will also influence how those chemicals are released. So it's scientific in nature.
Yeah, it is scientific too. Yeah. It is, right?
Because I'm not a religious person.
Yeah.
Okay. I denounce religion. not for others, but for myself. What you want to believe on your own is up to you. But for me, I don't have any faith. I'm a materialist. I think that's even worse than the natives.
What is a materialist? Sorry, people don't
I only
understand.
believe in the material world.
Okay.
I don't even believe in the spirit. Atheists will still believe in the human
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah, yeah.
I don't. For me, everything is in the material world. How I feel are just chemicals being released into my brain.
Yeah.
Or the synapses.
Yeah, like the brain and the jar with the that analogy.
So I'm that kind of person.
Yeah.
And you know what is the most amusing thing?
What?
I was very religious at a time in my life. I was a
Really?
very devout Buddhist.
Really?
My father was a very religious man. He raised my brother and I up as devout Buddhist practitioners. When my father passed away, my faith was half. To my mind, my father to me was a good man, despite his
Yeah.
triad
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
He was a good man, did good things, and yet life ended for him in a very sudden manner.
Was he die young?
Died at the age of 55
55. Okay.
from a heart attack.
That's all.
And so I lost half of my faith,
Yeah.
but I still continued in his memory. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I completely lost faith in faith.
Yeah.
So that was my journey. As a late stage cancer patient, one of the things that people inundate me with is all these alternative forms of healing.
Healing, like key energy healing or something, or
A variety, some
Yeah.
spiritual,
yeah.
some pseudoscientific. Coffee enemas.
Coffee enema. What's that gonna do? It's like the opposite end of you. It's not gonna do anything.
Cure my cancer.
What? Lung cancer?
Vegetable juice diets.
Oh no, that's terrible for your body.
Porcupine bezoar.
What's that?
A bezoar is a desiccated gallbladder of an animal.
Okay.
It's called bezoar.
Okay.
This is the bezoar of a porcupine. It is more expensive than gold, pound for pound.
Wow.
Just like a few milligrams will cost hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
Rhinoceros horn
In
shavings.
Vietnam, that's quite popular. The trading of that, yeah, and
All
selling
the-
legal trading and
All
selling
the
of that.
sub-Asian cultures.
Yeah.
People come to me, Jun, take this, take this. Those are pseudo-scientific. Then you have the
Yeah.
faith healing,
Yeah.
chi healing,
Right.
group prayers at the church, Chinese chi healing, consuming water doused with a burn amulet.
Okay.
So there's you go to a temple,
Yeah.
the medium
Yeah,
will
yeah.
do some incantations,
Yeah.
burn the amulet, the paper amulet, douse it into a bowl of water, you drink it and voila. And plenty of these things. All sorts. Between you and me, all horseshit.
Yeah.
If my problems can be resolved in such a manner,
Yeah.
the cancer treatment industry
Would
wouldn't
go
be
broke.
worth
Yeah, there wouldn't be one.
billions.
There wouldn't be one.
Wouldn't be worth
Yeah.
billions.
Yeah.
People often say big pharma will not create a cancer cure because cancer treatment is so lucrative.
So much money. Yeah.
But this is just conspiracy theory thinking.
Yeah.
If someone come up with cure for cancer, they will become trillionaires, let alone
That's
billionaires.
true. I never thought about it but it's true. Like if you had the cure, then
They would make
you
way
may
more
everyone
money.
Yeah.
Way more money. So to me, all this conspiracy theories thinking is just a very convenient excuse for people when they're desperate and they
Yeah.
think that there's some hidden cure.
Is your family like? I know you like. Is your family into any of these like theories and stuff like that? Were they like pushing that?
Initially,
Yeah.
they tell me, keep your mind open, consider that.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
I do still.
Yeah.
Anytime anyone comes to me with something, I wouldn't shut it up.
That's good.
I will listen to it. I will do my own research, ask the right question, and decide.
Yeah.
But, Kane, coffee enema.
Oh yeah,
How
that's
ridiculous does it sound?
I can't believe that's
That
a
putting
suggestion.
coffee into my colon would have healing properties
Yeah.
to my cancer tumor in my lung.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Anyway, just to complete the story,
Yeah.
when I came back for my second round treatment, I resolved the problem here. So right now, the only one that is left is a tumor in my lung. But that is the one bastard that refused to die for the last 4 years.
So you're clear, or your head is clear of cancer, but just your lung.
I've done open chest surgery. I've done ablation. Ablation is
What's that mean?
they use like microwave or a radio wave to burn it.
Ah, yeah, just like the concentrated.
So it's a form of surgery, but not open.
Yeah.
It's like keyhole,
Yeah.
and then they burn it through that rod.
Yeah.
I've done 100 radiation that the doctor don't allow me to do any radiation anymore.
You still did it anyway.
Huh?
You still did it anyway.
Yeah, it didn't help.
Yeah.
I've done more than 100 chemotherapy sessions, still doing. That's why I look like this.
Yeah,
This is the chemo
The
rash.
chemo rash you were saying, yeah.
Different drugs have different side effects.
Yeah.
Trust me. This time is terrible. My mouth,
It looks a lot better. The first time I met you was very
because
intense.
the doctor gave me
Yeah.
antibiotics.
Ah,
I have ulcers in my mouth. These things, they're inside my tongue and my mouth as well. It is painful,
Can you eat?
unpleasant.
Can you eat okay? Or was it
With
like-
pain.
With pain, okay.
My quality of life has gone down considerably. But I can still eat. So that's the importance of a
Yeah.
positive mindset.
It is.
When you have a defeatist mindset, you blame the world
Yeah.
and you'll be downtrodden. Oh man, I can't even eat. What's the meaning of life? I want to die. Trust me, Kane. That every week there will be mornings. Every week, mornings when I wake up, I wish I didn't for a split second.
Yeah.
Because every day I know I have to go through immense suffering that the ordinary person,
Would never,
the ordinary
ever,
me
never.
wouldn't understand.
No, you wouldn't. I don't. I'm hearing it, but I don't understand.
5-6 years ago, I wouldn't know this.
Yeah.
There are many mornings I wake up thinking, damn, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I have to go through this. But that's only for a split second.
Yeah.
Because after that, I'll catch myself thinking, no, cut that out. Today's a new day. The sun is shining. Time for you to work.
Do you feel like that, like when people face pain in life, where you're going through emotional and physical pain, do you feel like that's like a motivator to help you push through when you're doing competition or when you're litigating or any of these things?
I'll be honest with you. When I do litigation work, which I just did actually,
Yeah,
I was very busy the last 2 weeks. That's why it was hard.
Yeah.
for me to
Oh, I
catch
know
me.
you're busy. I get it.
I was
I
caught
totally get
every
it.
day
Yeah.
with the voice like this.
You're still speaking like, the whole time? Oh, okay.
On Monday, I was 7 hours on my feet. I went through 6 witnesses, examining them, non-stop. It was tough. But you know what? I'm having fun. Training, work, litigation work, they are all distractions to my real life problem. You know, people always say,
Yeah.
you have 101 problems until you have a health problem.
Yeah.
Then you only have one problem.
Yeah. It's the most important thing in the world is health. Agreed.
I would say
No
it's
doubt.
absolutely true.
No doubt. It's everything else.
It's everything.
Everything else.
Before I was sick,
Yep.
I would think, oh man, I have this issue, that problem, this client's giving me problems, this judge is very difficult, this opponent is very troublesome.
Yep.
My family wants this, my children want that, my friends want this. Many things to think about. When I'm sick, those are all not issues. I welcome them. For me, there's only one issue. When will I ever be healthy again? Healthy enough to live my life in a better way.
Yeah.
Everything else is fun. distraction.
Yeah.
When I compete, it's fun. Before I was sick, meaning with cancer, I compete regularly also.
How often do you compete?
Twice a year, once or twice a year.
Yep, yep. At each belt?
No,
Okay.
mostly in my purple belt.
Mostly
Why?
purple brown, yeah.
Because my father passed away, and shortly after that, I became a purple belt.
So this is just like motivation as well we're talking about,
Distraction.
Right? Okay. Okay, distraction. Okay.
From my grief.
Yeah.
So I developed a healthy lifestyle
Yeah.
because of my father.
Yeah.
He passed away. I started to compete more, and you know how the lifestyle
Yeah,
goes.
catch it up, and next thing you know, you do
need
it
to
all the
maintain your
time.
weight.
Yeah, yeah.
You need to
yeah.
eat healthy
Yeah.
to make sure that you're
Yeah.
optimal.
Yep, yep.
So it was actually good because when I went into cancer treatment, I was fit, and that helps because cancer treatment is so tough. I really wouldn't blame
How,
the.
how do you think you would have been if you weren't fit?
I might have given up, but I was fit, and even then it was very tough.
Wow.
Imagine if you are sedentary at 60 years
Oh,
of age.
yeah. Well,
Man.
good luck.
I was in my 30s and physically active.
Yeah, your physical peak.
Yeah, I
Your
trained
physical peak.
4 times a week.
Yeah,
I was
plus
physically
yeah,
active.
yeah.
Imagine if I'm sedentary my whole life and I got this disease at 60.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to go through it.
Yeah.
So, a word of advice to the people listening: make sure that you are physically active.
Yeah.
It helps.
I wanted to bring this up. Like I haven't gone through anything you've gone through. I've been in hospital for a few stints for stomach issues and whatnot. I've also got a couple of autoimmune diseases as well. And when I first heard these things, I thought, what people thought and people say is that like your athletics career is over, you know. But for me, when these health things happened to me, it was the start of me going, I need to sleep right, I need to eat healthy, I need to train more, I need to make the most of what I'm doing and appreciate what I have, but also focus on my body and my health, because I realized then, like, you know, even though it's a different story to you and totally different thing, that health is just the number one thing. It's everything.
My
it flows into
situation is
everything.
not dissimilar from yours, Kim. Except that I do not wish you would have cancer.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't wish it on anybody, not even my worst enemies. It is hell on earth, especially late stage, because the treatment is very tough. Unless you don't want to go treatment, then you just pray and hope for the best, which is not realistic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
a good point you have made. People often ask, how is it that you became a brown belt? I earned my brown belt and my black belt as a cancer patient
And there'd be no one else that's ever done that we know of.
that I know of.
I don't think anyone's ever done that whilst doing treatment.
So what happened was, after I came back in 2018
Yeah.
to training, about 3 months in, there was a competition, a year-end competition locally. It's the
Copa de Malaysia?
The Copa de Malaysia.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Malaysia's most premier competition at that date. Every year they will have a number of events, and I was thinking, you know, I did that every year. Didn't win a single one.
That was like maybe the first 4
Because, you know, I'm never
Yeah.
a career athlete.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer. I do my competitions for fun.
Can I just ask quickly, how many hours a week were you working previously as a lawyer? 70-hour weeks, 60-hour
50,
weeks? Yeah, see,
50, 60-hour week,
yeah.
easily.
That's insane.
And
Plus
I
everything else.
Then I still train.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, my body was taking a beating.
Mm.
It needed a rest. One should also learn to manage and pace themselves. But after I came back from cancer treatment, first I didn't even know if I could actually do jiu-jitsu still.
Yeah.
Coming back was really tough because
How'd
I
you
was so
start?
physically,
And just drilling or just like
even drilling was tough.
Really?
Because before that I was in the prime of my life,
Yeah.
physical prime.
Yeah,
I went through treatment and my body was so broken.
yeah.
I was a shadow of what I was. So I told myself, hey, I gotta train differently already.
Yeah.
Not just training, even work. I can't sustain a 50, 60-hour work week anymore.
Yeah,
I have to half that.
yeah.
My energy levels are very different. And at the time, I wasn't doing treatment yet.
Yeah.
and I was already very broken. But I decided to compete. My teammates and coaches were like, this guy's nuts. Just came back from 5 months of intense cancer treatment in which I nearly died. This guy wants to compete. Like, I competed.
Wow.
And you know what's the funny thing?
What?
I won. After so many years, I never won a
First
purple
time,
belt.
you never won anything?
For many years at purple belt, I didn't win anything.
Wow.
Previously, I didn't win.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there was a gap in which I didn't win for a number of years.
Wow.
But I do it still because it
Yeah.
was to challenge myself.
Yeah.
I won.
Wow.
Now, it's not that the victory is great. It's just that, you know why?
Why?
When I stepped on the mats that time, I realized one of the things that was troubling me was anxiety. Because I was worried how I would perform. But when I came back after cancer treatment, I had zero anxiety. Why? I was just glad that I could still step on the mats, the competition mats. Before that, I thought it was over for me.
Yeah.
So when I stepped on the mats, I had no anxiety.
Wow.
I only had joy, immense joy. So I performed with no mental burden.
Yeah. And that would flow into your gas tank, and then you're thinking, and then you stress, and you have all these different things. You're just thinking, I'm in the moment.
I'm in the
I'm so
moment.
gracious to be competing again.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for my
Yeah.
opponents or whatever
Yeah,
that did it
yeah.
in me, but it was great.
Yeah.
So from that day on, I competed still. But what happened was, after that, I wanted to compete more. I couldn't. I got a relapse, right?
Yeah.
A recurrence of my cancer.
Yeah.
I went to Taiwan for treatment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Taiwan.
So
I know you're
initially I
over
did
there.
in Malaysia.
Yeah, so is a Malaysian medical I heard Malaysian medical system is quite good.
Quite good.
It is, right?
But my doctor here, my oncologist, he recommended that for my second round,
Go to
in
Taiwan.
order to minimize the toxicity of
Yeah.
radiation, I could do proton therapy instead.
Okay.
It is a more precise form of radiotherapy,
Yeah.
but the proton therapy machine is incredibly expensive. In 2019, no country in Southeast Asia had it yet. Singapore was building it at the time. Now they have it. So the nearest for me was
Taiwan.
China, Shanghai, Taipei,
Okay.
Korea,
Yep.
and Japan.
The Taiwan's the closest.
It's the closest
Yeah.
and cheapest.
Yeah.
Of course, I chose it.
Yeah.
And language-wise,
Yeah,
it
you can
was
speak
the
Cantonese.
closest to.
Yeah.
Because people there speak Mandarin,
Mandarin, sorry. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I could do Mandarin. Not the best, but easier than Korean or Japanese.
It's very similar. The sounds.
Yeah.
Not that I know much, but a
And
little bit about it.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to go to Shanghai because it's further, and Shanghai is very expensive.
Yeah.
One of the most expensive cities in the world.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So, Taipei it is.
Mm.
So I spent 4 months there in Taipei.
So you're living in Taipei.
Yeah, I lived there for 4 months doing treatment. Eventually, I resolved my problem. For my lung, I didn't need proton therapy, the technology.
Yeah.
So of course, coming back to Malaysia was cheaper
Okay.
because
Yeah.
it's home.
Yeah.
In Taipei, I have to pay for accommodation,
Yep,
whatnot.
yep.
Here I have a house and
Yeah. It's all cash over there as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I came
I was
back
there in August last year. Yeah.
and I was thinking, you know what? It seems like I'm going to be stuck with this treatment thing for the long run. So before this, when I was doing treatment, I didn't train.
Okay.
But I made a decision. I asked my oncologist, can I train while doing treatment? They were a bit not too keen,
Yeah.
but seeing that I was very enthusiastic about
Yeah.
it, they said, you know what, it's better for you to be active than not.
It is.
So if that's what you want to do as your exercise, go for it. And that's why I continued training while I was doing cancer treatment. Sometimes it was so bad, I would vomit 30 minutes before I train.
Is this from the chemo? You're sick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different drugs would give me different side effects. But suffice to say, one of the most common side effects would be nausea and lethargy.
Yeah.
Some would cause hair loss,
Yeah.
some would not.
Yeah.
Some would cause chemo rash, some would not.
Okay.
Some would cause bowel digestion issues, some wouldn't. But almost all would cause nausea
Yeah, yeah.
and lethargy. And the nausea is the worst. You feel like you want to, retch, but the doctor will give you anti-vomiting medication.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you want to vomit, but you can't, and that's terrible.
But if you vomit, is it worse for your health? To vomit
Yeah.
out? Yeah, so that's why, okay.
Because the
got
food will come out,
Yeah.
and I will get half of the nutrients that I'm
Yeah.
supposed to get.
Yeah, okay, okay.
And I
makes
need
sense.
the
Yeah,
nutrients.
yeah, you definitely do.
Because the chemo is very hard on the body, so I
Yeah.
need to eat.
Are you doing radiation at the same time?
No,
Okay, just chemo.
I'm not permitted to do any more radiation.
Why?
Too many. If I do more, I could rupture vessels in my lung and
see.
die from internal bleeding.
Okay, for hemorrhaging. Yeah,
I wanted to do surgery.
yeah,
My oncologist said surgery is a good option,
yeah.
provided I could do it. I consulted with 3 of the best thoracic or lung surgeons
Yeah.
in the region. I went to Singapore. I consulted locally. I went to Singapore and consulted with the best. All tell me it's going to be kamikaze
Really?
if I want to do a surgery. So I told my oncologist, this is your best advice, but I can't do it. He wouldn't know because he's not a surgeon.
Yeah,
He would
yeah.
say this is good,
Yeah, that's the
but
thing, yeah.
I need the surgeons to advise you on the risk.
It's like a barrister and then someone else that's I don't know, similar thing. Like I can't think of a similar comparison, but yeah, they don't know the mechanics of everything.
For example,
Yeah.
I'm a civil litigator.
Yeah, and a criminal.
There's a criminal litigator.
Yeah,
So sometimes
exactly.
I
Yeah.
need the feedback from the criminal litigator for my civil case.
Exactly,
Because I'm not
exactly.
handling the criminal side.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's not handling the surgery. He needs the surgeon to advise me and him
yeah.
on the surgery. So all of them
So
say,
you can't do it. You can't do surgery.
so now I'm at the tail end of my treatment. What I'm doing is what they call systemic treatment,
Okay.
meaning they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
They just try.
Yeah,
They're like, let's try this protocol and see if it works.
Ah. So just trying different types of chemo.
Mix and match.
Got it now. Understood.
Maybe for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And let's say in the next 2 years they can't resolve it,
Yeah.
then my cancer become terminal. Then I will just be waiting to die. Or
Hopefully not.
miracles can happen, I can live,
Yeah.
whatever. But it is what it is.
Yeah. But you've got the right mindset.
Even
Regardless.
then, yeah,
regardless.
even then,
Regardless.
so what?
Yeah.
I still have to live my life, right?
You do.
I can either live with a positive view
Yeah.
or with a negative view. It's my choice.
Yeah.
And so long as I have the choice, I will choose accordingly. Like my cancer, I have no choice, so I'm too bad.
Yeah.
And I still wouldn't do coffee enemas and
Yeah. I don't think you should either.
chi healing. Sounds like a bunch of hogwash.
It does. It does. So can I ask just for a moment about COVID, right? So during the COVID time, like with jiu-jitsu, like everyone was doing the speakeasies and sneaking around to do training and stuff like that. For you, I wanted to ask, how was the training like? But also, like, going through COVID, like, there's a whole nother layer of like health precautions, the things you do. You go to hospital, see specialists. It must have been really, really difficult to get treatment during that time period.
I'll be honest, it was easier.
Oh, really?
Roads are clear. Hospitals are clear.
Okay.
People don't go unless they have very good reason to do so.
Yeah.
It's actually easier for me.
Yeah.
I just have to go there with my mask, follow the protocol.
Yeah.
It was easier.
Okay.
I wasn't worried
Okay.
because I have a valid reason to leave the house.
Yeah. You definitely do.
Whether I stick around to train is something I won't comment on because I'm a lawyer. I wouldn't make an admission of guilt
Okay.
on camera, so I will not comment on it.
Okay.
But in terms of treatment, actually it wasn't tough.
Yeah. Understood.
What is tough is now.
Yeah.
So, I sustained a meniscus injury
Yeah.
that has been troubling me for many months before it finally locked up.
Yeah.
So during training, it locked up, and it got worse when I was like moving at home. Like it became very locked.
Yeah.
I couldn't straighten it and I had to go for surgery. So now I was on crutches for like a month. Now I'm off, but there will be many months of rehab
Yeah.
before I can return to proper training.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I can't train.
Yeah.
It is having an effect on my mental health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because before this, training was what allowed me to distract myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have work, but you can only work so much a day or in a week, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what I do on the weekends now is
Hiking?
video games.
Or walking? Oh, video games.
I can't even hike.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't.
What do you?
My leg is not strong
Yeah,
enough to
yeah,
hike.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do downhill yet.
Just flat surface only.
Yeah, I can jog, I can walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can hike.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too strenuous
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
knee.
Actually, it would be. Wouldn't it?
I have to do my rehab. In fact, after this, I'm seeing my
Yeah.
physiotherapist.
Yeah. You are. So you're playing video games.
Playing video games.
What are you playing?
God of War, Ragnarok, I have a PS5.
This is what I'm saying about the warrior thing. That's literally the
Oh, yeah.
warrior game. Yeah.
So one
Yeah,
of the funniest
yeah,
things,
yeah.
and this is a bit of a segue, but
Yeah.
I applied my Jiu-Jitsu training methods and learning methods to video games.
Yeah.
Goodness, you wouldn't guess, but I actually mastered the game a lot quicker
Wow.
than at the time before I started Jiu-Jitsu. So after I started Jiu-Jitsu, I
Yeah.
just gave up with
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because Jiu-Jitsu is the
Ultimate game.
It's the
Ultimate
more
game.
fun version.
Yeah. 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 I think so too.
It is like
Yeah.
a video game, but you're using your body. Where you're trying to, up your stats.
Yeah. 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 Up your
your
stats, your
skill,
skills.
your
Yeah.
abilities.
Fitness, composure, all that stuff. Yeah. There's so many elements to it.
So I-
Counters.
So to me, counters.
Counters,
So to
yep.
me, Jiu-Jitsu has always been like that.
Yeah.
So after I started Jiu-Jitsu, I hardly went back to video games. Except when I was sick.
Yeah. Same. That's what I do when I'm sick too.
When
I
I'm
play
sick,
games. Yeah,
like
yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
in Taiwan,
Yeah.
my friend actually gave me a PS4. He was like, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I have it at home. Yeah, here you go. You're going to Taiwan, 4 months. You can't
You
do
gotta do
much
something.
there.
Yeah.
Play God
Yeah,
of War,
yeah.
the one before.
I've got
Ragnarok.
that PS4 and I got that game as well.
Yeah,
Played it too. Yeah.
amazing
Awesome game. So much
So-
fun.
so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
played it and
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah.
So, this time around, same thing.
Yeah.
This very same friend, I introduced him to Jiu-Jitsu half a year ago. He bought the PS5, but because I introduced him to Jiu-Jitsu, he has so much fun playing Jiu-Jitsu.
Doesn't play video
So
games,
when
right?
when I got injured,
Yeah.
he was like, you know what? Ever since you introduced me to Jiu-Jitsu, I haven't touched my PS5. Here you go again.
That's good.
And because I can't
Yeah.
train.
Yeah.
See, one of the funniest things is this. People actually come and tell me, Jun, I don't know if this is right to say, but I feel like you are a better grappler after cancer
Yeah.
than before cancer diagnosis. But it's so odd because cancer really broke me down.
Yeah.
I'm a physically inferior person after cancer treatment. And if you have to ask me, 60%. I'm only 30-40% of where I was. 60%
Yeah.
of my previous self is gone. That's how physically different I was.
Yeah.
And you can ask anyone that have done repeated late-stage treatment. They destroy your body. I lose so much. I have muscle problems from the inflammation of my treatment. Jiu-Jitsu doesn't even seem like a logical thing to do. You know, my neck is tender
Yeah.
from all the radiation I've done. Like if you press like this,
Yeah.
it hurts.
Yeah.
What do people do in Jiu-Jitsu? Strangle
this,
you
all this.
unconscious.
This compression neck.
So how
cranks.
could I do Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah.
and still thrive?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. But I did. And the proof is in the pudding. I earned my brown belt and my black belt after cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
In fact,
And-
for my black belt, it was so funny. I was literally vomiting every day when I was training.
What?
Every day.
You're
I vomit
vomiting
like-
every day
like
and still training.
10 times a day.
Wow.
And still training.
Wow.
One of my teammates said it was bazonkers because my son got COVID from school
Yeah.
in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
And my friend, who was a purple belt, is a purple belt now. At the time, I don't know if it was a purple or blue
Yeah.
belt.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine, training partner, he offered to take me in. Because I didn't want to catch COVID for my son.
Yeah.
Because he has to be isolated at home for quarantine. So I was hiding in my room. I was like, I better leave. Because if I get COVID, it would affect my cancer treatment.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean, I was vaccinated already, but still, if I have, have COVID, I can't do the treatment. So he was nice enough to offer me to be at his house.
Okay.
So we would go for training. At the time, training was allowed already. This was like 2021. He would literally hear me vomiting in his bathroom half an hour before training. I'll be retching. And then I would clean myself, come out, I'll say, hey Benny, let's go. He'll look at me. You just vomited. I say, yeah, I'm good now, let's go. And that was it. I love Jiu-Jitsu. It is what allowed me to.
It's amazing.
And you know, Jiu-Jitsu training is not easy.
No, it's not.
And you have trained with me.
Yeah.
You know I don't take it easy.
Well, this is what I was going to say. Like, when I first wanted to roll with you, I was like, a bit cautious. I'm like, okay, you've had cancer and all these treatments. I'm like, and then you roll with me, and then it was like I didn't know anything about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I
don't take it easy.
Your technique, it was definitely a black belt level. I didn't know what was going on.
And I will appreciate.
I've been training for 5-6 years. I'm not like a beginner.
And I appreciate people bringing it to me too.
Yeah.
Of course, not to hurt me, but training for
real. Yeah.
Like, with a proper level of intensity.
Yeah.
So to me, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that just because I'm sick, I have to give up what I love. I learn with everything in life.
Yeah.
Where there's a will, I wouldn't say there is a way, but there could be a way. Will I ever be a top-notch, world-class competitor? The answer is no. I'm too physically broken for that. But can I still do the sport, enjoy, and compete in it, and still improve? The answer is yes.
Well, this is a true testament to metaphor to what you're saying, is that you built a device so you can continue to train and compete and win competitions, right? So can you share a bit about that?
Yeah, that's a bit of it's insane because I had a Chemo Port, which most late-stage cancer patients have. It's a catheter in which
they insert the
insert.
Yeah.
It's connected to my superior vena cava.
Yeah.
So they would just put the drug straight to my heart. I can't train without a protector because it's tender if people press and all. And Jiu-Jitsu, grappling is a full contact combat sport. It's very rough.
Yeah.
It's as rough as it gets.
Yeah.
And people are trying to strangle you unconscious, break your arm, your legs.
Yeah.
So I need
it's crazy, right? When you bring it, we actually really think about it. Like, it is quite crazy.
So I go online and check how to train with a Chemo Port. I couldn't find anything.
Wow.
Because nobody's insane enough to be doing late-stage cancer treatment and still want to do full contact martial arts. Like
and compete.
And compete.
Yeah.
So I had to come up with creative ways. I found this in a rock climbing website. Somebody in need of a port, not for cancer. This can be used for other autoimmune disease as well.
Okay.
He wanted to do rock climbing.
Yeah.
And in rock climbing, sometimes you smash against the walls. As you climb, right? And it will hurt him. So what he did was, he bought a baseball heart protector for children.
Oh, yeah, I know what it is. So the catcher wears it, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So Malaysia and in Asia,
There's
baseball is not a
here.
big thing.
Yeah.
We're not a baseball country.
Even Australia's not, but
Australia
it's not.
not, but
I played when I was younger, but I know.
US is.
In Japan.
Japan is,
Japan
US
love it.
is. So this person was, I think, was an American.
Yeah.
And he know about it. And he did it and he adjusted it. I got the idea from them. So I bought one through Amazon, get it shipped all the way from America, and I modify it in the same manner. But I have to do different things. Why?
Yeah.
In rock climbing, you don't have to care about the rock. You can something that's hard can smash against the rock. But in grappling, I have to be mindful of the health and safety of my training partners. If it's so hard, I could hurt them.
Yeah.
So I had to put like cushion, layer it with a foam.
Yeah, got it.
And then inside, because there's more impact in grappling,
Yeah.
I had to layer the insides with like bra pads as cushion as well.
Yeah.
So I actually devised a very unique
And you've got like a tube on
device.
it though as well, right?
Sorry?
You have a tube on it though, right? Is there like a tube at the top?
It's not a tube. It's just a form of a foam.
Form,
Just to
okay.
cover
That's
it
fine,
up.
okay.
And then to adjust the straps
I see
differently.
the strap that goes around here.
Yes, so to keep it in place. So that it doesn't move about when I'll wear a rash guard over it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll wear my gi and whatnot. So I've been training like that for about 2 years. My teammates were all fine with it. Every time I will ask for feedback, is this bothering you or not? No, I say, no, don't feel a thing.
That's great.
It's great.
How good's that?
So in 2022, I wanted to compete. Because I've been training for 2 years. I felt that training was all right. I wanted to compete. But I can't compete because most competition wouldn't allow me to wear all these contraptions. You have to be free of all those things.
Yeah.
This is part of the rules.
Yeah, yeah. Right?
So my oncologist said, look,
Yeah.
you're not out of the woods.
Yeah.
You still have ways to go.
Yeah.
You still have you still have a lot of treatment to go.
Yeah.
I won't advise you to remove it because if you remove it, it has to be done surgically. Then if you need it, you have to implant it back surgically. It's money and time and effort.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't suggest that. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, fine. What option do I have? I would have to probably ask for special permission.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I can write
Oh,
now.
yeah.
So I send
Yeah.
emails to the organizers
Yeah.
in the region.
Yeah.
I started with ADCC Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
They have a Thailand Open at the time and a Singapore Open.
Yeah.
This is in 2022. Let's try that first. Tell them my sub story, how I want to compete before I die and all those things.
Yeah.
Of course, it's hard to refuse a dying man's wish.
Yeah.
And they all said, you can compete.
That's amazing.
But I told them it won't affect
Yeah.
you can, the people.
Yeah.
You can go out. They said, but you do it at your own risk. I said, no problem. If you
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to sign
yeah.
a
Yeah. It's not
additional
now.
waiver, I'll do it.
Yeah, yeah.
They said no need, but just make sure you do this knowing the risk.
That's amazing.
So I competed for the first time since 2018, since the purple belt competition.
Where did you compete at? What was it?
I competed in Phuket
Okay.
for the ADCC Thailand
Yeah.
Open and in Singapore for the ADCC Singapore Open in 2022. I managed to get silver in Thailand. And I made it through to the finals, but I lost in the semi-final. And in ADCC Singapore Open, I managed to win.
You won?
Gold, yeah. But in the Masters category,
Yeah, but you won.
I won, yeah. So,
That's amazing. I didn't realize you won the ADCC for Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore Open.
Wow.
I won in the Masters.
That's amazing.
Advanced Division Masters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No gi?
It's no gi. ADCC
Yeah,
is
yeah,
only
it's
no
only no
gi.
gi. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, yeah.
I can't.
That's
I don't
amazing.
think I can do the adults because I don't want to compete against those 20-year-olds.
Oh
full of
yeah,
energy.
no. I think Masters is fine.
I'm 40 years
Yeah,
old
yeah,
this
yeah,
year.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I was 38, 39
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
But
That's amazing.
Still, it was great. You know,
That's
I had
amazing.
fun. I competed one more time last year.
Yeah.
In early in the year at the AGP
Yeah.
in Bangkok. Didn't do as well, but still fun.
Yeah.
Then what happened was I wanted to hike Mount Fuji
In Japan.
in Japan
When were you there?
in July, August.
I was there at the same time as you.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to hike Mount Fuji, so
Yeah.
I didn't want to compete further. I didn't want to get injured or whatnot because I know my knee was giving
Where were
me
you?
problems.
Where were you in When were you at Mount Fuji?
In August.
Yeah, I was there too. I
I-
was in Mount
I-
Fuji. I didn't climb it. I just saw the mountain, but I didn't
So
climb
I
it.
hiked it.
You did it.
I hiked it all the way up to the 8th station, where we have to spend the night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One night, then the
Yeah.
next morning we would. There's another like 500 meters before
Yeah.
we summit. I couldn't summit because there was a typhoon.
That's right. The typhoon was there. That's right. Yeah,
I
I
had to
remember.
evacuate.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had to
yeah.
chase everyone down because it was dangerous. It was very, very heavy winds,
Yeah.
heavy rain. In fact, it was raining hail at one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So they chased us all down.
Yeah, yeah,
so I
yeah.
couldn't submit. But it was a good experience. Beautiful.
Yeah,
So I came back.
yeah.
And then I wanted to compete,
In the ADCC Singapore that came up
year
recently.
end, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I couldn't
Why?
because my cancer condition has worsened. And I had to go through this current treatment, which is very tough.
Well,
So while I can train,
yeah, yeah.
I definitely cannot train for competition.
Well, maybe it's kind of okay that considering like your knee is going for surgery and you can't train properly,
So happened, I also injured my knee at around the same time.
and maybe like taking a break by just doing the video games and still being actively engaged in your
To allow
family,
my
everything else
body
like
to heal a
that.
little,
Maybe
yeah.
it might be okay. Like it might help give you a bit of more recovery in some other ways, you know, give your
Yeah.
body some healing so it can like come back stronger to keep training, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about fear. So like, fear is a powerful motivator in our lives, and it's like really hard for us to kind of to face things, but we know we have to kind of face things in life as men and as people in general. Like, how have you embraced fear or had to confront fear in your diagnoses, but also throughout your law history and also like on the mats and in competition?
I think this is the most important question you have asked. And I've actually said this more than once in other interviews or podcasts. But I'll say it again. I believe it was Bran Stark who asked Ned Stark in Game of Thrones in the Song of Ice and Fire, can a man be brave when he's afraid? And Ned told his son, that is the only time
Yeah.
a man can be brave. And it makes absolute sense.
Yeah, it does.
Everyone can be brave when they're not faced with a harrowing scenario, with a fearful situation. Everyone can be brave.
Yeah.
I can be brave now.
Yeah.
But it's much harder to have the bravery and courage when you have to deal with something that you fear. But Ned said it best, or George R. Martin, the author. That is the only time you can truly be brave. Fear is just like any emotion, but it's an extremely powerful one. You can either let it control you, or you can harness it for something better.
Yeah.
To my mind, it's perfectly fine to be fearful.
Yeah.
We are all human beings.
Yeah.
If we cannot feel fear, our species would have been extinct thousands of years ago.
Yeah, yeah, it would.
Look at the saber-toothed tiger, let's poke it, and you're dead. Right? You'll be like, oh, that animal looks dangerous. Let's not deal with it. This snake-looking thing looks poisonous. Let's not play with it.
Yeah.
So fear is important.
That's true.
But if you allow it to control you, then you become its slave. And it will dictate every aspect of your life. And people do that. That's why I renounce religion. Sorry, I denounce religion.
Denounce religion, yeah.
Because to me, the foundation of religion, not all, but to me, before this, was fear. Fear of retribution. Fear of divine retribution. I don't need a divine being to tell me what to do. I know what I have to do because it's the right thing to do. I don't rob another human being because I know that it's an immoral thing to do so. That by doing that, I will cause him harm, and I will be unfairly depriving that person of what he has earned in the right, proper way. I don't need to do it because somebody above tells me, oh, you should rob another human being. But I want to, but I can't.
Yeah.
See, same thing with fear. I don't allow it to dictate my life. It's there.
Yeah.
I fear for my condition every day,
Yeah.
but I don't allow it to control me. I harness it.
Harness it. Yeah.
Every day when I wake up and I tell myself, how do I live my life today? That fear is part of one of the things at the back of my head.
Yeah.
But I don't allow it to, oh my God, I'm going to die soon. I think today I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I might as well just rot and, be
Sedentary, just do nothing.
be in despair.
Yeah.
I could, but no. Today I said, why no? I have to be better today. I have a client that requires me to prepare their claim. They have sought my help, paid me a handsome fee. I do that today. That's it. That's my work for today. I have to do X amount for my family. That's what I have to do today. I do it. And once I do everything that I have to do, I ask, what do I have to do for myself today? You have to do something for yourself.
You do.
I can't live for
do,
others.
yeah,
You have to
yeah,
also
yeah.
live for yourself.
Yeah. And what do you do for yourself?
Something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
It could be food. It could be before this jiu-jitsu training.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that there's no jiu-jitsu training, it could be watching Netflix,
Go to walk.
playing video
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
I do something for myself
Yeah,
every
that's
day.
good.
And that's how you give your life meaning. When for most people, the meaning is sucked out of life the moment they get a stage 4 cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
I don't allow that to dictate my life.
Yeah.
I'm in fear every day, but I don't allow it to control me. I harness it and I tell myself, it's a good time to be alive.
It is. It really is. I can feel that too. Like, I don't think you are at all. Just the determination and the way that you do everything, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Marcelo Garcia is also going through like stomach cancer
Yeah,
now.
I know that.
What sort of advice do you have for him for his sort of process and what he's doing?
Well, the last update was that he's finished his treatment.
really?
He's back to training.
Okay.
He's doing fine.
Yeah.
To me, you still have a life to go to live.
What about other athletes? You know, what other athletes going through this sort of thing, or anyone going through this sort of process? What advice?
I think an athlete, I think it's going to be hard. It's like Marcelo is no longer an athlete.
Yeah, he was
He
retired.
can still be
yeah.
a very successful coach after this, because coaching, you don't need a lot of physicality.
Yeah.
It's all about the knowledge.
yeah.
Nobody would ever deny the fact that Marcelo is one of the greatest
Oh, yeah.
grapplers of all time. He's more
done
than
everything.
capable of being an amazing coach,
Yeah.
even after treatment.
Yeah.
But for the athlete, like a current athlete, I think things are a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
You have to come to the realization that your athletic career
Yeah.
may have to
Take a back seat or
take a back seat
Yeah.
or be shortened.
more shortened. Yeah.
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 And focus on other things. Can you still train? Can you still be very good? The answer is yes. Because I've actually improved technically
Yeah.
as a jiu-jitsu practitioner. In fact,
That's what you're saying. Everyone told you that, right?
As a lawyer.
Yeah.
Why? Because
Yeah. Why the lawyer? Yeah.
nothing compels the need for change more than the need to change. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
The necessity to change is the number one.
You can't stagnate, right?
You can't.
You can't
No, no.
play it. You can't.
You
You
what
have a
I'm trying to
choice.
say is this. I have no choice.
You have no choice. What I mean.
And
Yeah.
that
yeah.
would
yeah.
force me to change.
Yes. Yeah.
Before this, people are comfortable at what they are doing. Change is the hardest thing that human beings would want to undergo.
Yeah.
We are hardwired to resist change.
Yeah. We are.
But change is the one thing that we have to embrace the moment we undergo any of these life-changing events. Remember I told you before this, I could operate 50 hours a week.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Now, 20 hours. That's what my energy level allows me, because I'm lethargic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Before this, I could work 10, 12 hours a day.
No problem.
Now, 5 hours.
Yeah.
Just the reality of things. So this forces me to be a lot more efficient. I have to get my affairs done in half the amount of time. Jiu-Jitsu, before this, if I can't do things well, I do it harder and faster.
Yeah.
Normal. I was in my early 30s,
Yeah. Yeah.
still in the physical prime of my life.
Yeah.
Now I'm a 40-year-old beaten up cancer patient. I can't do things harder and faster,
Yeah.
even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I have to do it in a more efficient manner. And that's how my jiu-jitsu is.
I wanted to ask you about, like, you know how like in jiu-jitsu sparring, right? I really feel it's like your personality that comes out like through the way that you actually fight or
I
spar,
completely-
right? Like, I know when I started jiu-jitsu, I was very hot-headed, aggressive, and then when I started to like slow down and breathe and strategize and think and like formulate, it's kind of like the personality I kind of am, to kind of have discussions and argue in that sort of way. And it's fine. I kind of like how I fight. I kind of see what they do and I kind of counter off that. I wanted to ask you about like your personality, and has your fighting style changed as well through this, or has it made it even stronger as to who you are and your person?
I think it has
You
changed
know?
so much. There are 3 events in my life I've told people that have changed me as a human being, as a person. The first was the passing of my father. That was the day I became a man. Because before that, I know I had always somebody that I can rely on to counsel me, watch my back, to take care of me.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if I was as an adult, how do I say, listen to my father, seek him for advice when I need to. But the day he died is the day I realized, fuck, I am now the man of the house.
Yeah.
I am the one that people would have to come to when there's a problem. And that changed a lot. The second time was when I became a father. That was a few years after I lost my father.
Yeah.
That was the day I realized I no longer live for myself alone. My life now is for another person as well. I have to live for others.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but it's true. It's completely true.
My son is
Yeah.
my responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, after that I have my daughter, but
Yeah.
that was the day I realized I changed.
Yeah.
And the third one is when I was diagnosed with cancer. I'm a changed person. I used to be a more aggressive person in life. Not just like physically
Yeah,
aggressive,
yeah,
but
yeah.
emotionally, intellectually.
Is that why you picked law as your passion in
Yes.
your career? Yeah, I could tell. Yeah.
I've always been a
You're a passionate, fiery person.
passionate,
Yeah.
confrontational
Confrontational. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
So
I
I
feel it.
Jiu-Jitsu as my
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
my
It's
hobby.
the right choice. It's
And
the
I'm
right
a-
choice.
I'm a litigator
Yeah.
as a profession.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like to fight.
Yeah. You're fighting every
I always
day.
tell people,
Yeah.
I've said this before,
Yeah.
I fight when I'm at work, I fight in court in the day, in the evening I go and fight on the mat,
Yeah.
at night I go home and fight my wife. My life is a constant fight. So now I have to fight cancer. What is another fight? Just another fight. So it did change my life, and
Yeah.
it has made me a lot more understanding of things. Before this, I was quick to jump to conclusions,
Yeah.
less compassionate, less patient, more judgmental.
Yeah.
But being on this side of the fence has made me different. And it's also changed the way I see things.
Yeah.
Back then, I was a fiery, hot-headed litigator. Nowadays, my fire has dimmed a little. Not to say I'm less passionate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I feel it.
I'm more
I
passionate,
feel it.
but I'm less inclined to think of just going head on.
Head on.
Sometimes
Yeah.
we have to understand that we have to take one step back to take 2 steps forward. Like everything in life.
So more like using that, like jiu-jitsu really, like using the energy against
jiu-jitsu.
them, persuasive, being more
Correct.
persuasive.
So like for law,
Yeah.
back then I just want to win.
Yeah.
Nowadays, sometimes I realize it's not all about winning. If I can settle the case, it may achieve a more beneficial
For everyone.
outcome to my client.
Yeah.
Than
It's like
winning
settlement,
the
you mean?
case.
Like
A
settlement. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
So yes, the client wants to win, but he doesn't realize that if the person fight all the way, he would have to expend money, effort, wait, go through a long
Bad
process,
blood.
expend more legal fees.
Bad blood as well, right?
Bad blood,
Like people just yeah.
mental occupation.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when you're litigating, it's always in the back of your head.
Yeah, yeah, it's always there, right? Yeah.
Sometimes if you get rid of it, you can have a more freer mind.
Yeah.
All these little things,
Yeah.
I don't think of it before that,
Yeah.
but now I do. And sometimes I'll tell them, it might be better for you to settle if the terms are right. It's just an example.
So it just added all this extra wisdom that you probably wouldn't have had, right?
Yeah. So for Jiu-Jitsu, Kane, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not doing the move harder and faster.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're just finding the technical answer to it.
Yeah.
In Jiu-Jitsu, often, just like in many things in life, if you look at it long enough, there is a solution.
Yeah.
But it may not come as
Straight
an
away.
obvious
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. That's so true. Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah, it's like when you first start jiu-jitsu and someone gets you a mount and you put your arms up. That's the first defense. And what's the first thing you do? You take the arm and someone breaks your arm, right? But like that's the initial instinctual reaction to someone being on your chest. But later on you learn that
not
keep
to
my arms in,
put the arms
keep
in.
keep my neck protected, move in, shrimp out. Like completely opposite idea to what you should be thinking you're doing,
as
right?
you get better, as you
Yeah.
get even better,
Yeah.
I'll put in one. Like for me,
Yeah.
the difference between purple belt and a black belt.
Yeah.
As a black belt, you realize I'm being mounted. This person is very good. He's very disciplined. He's not reacting to the subtle baits that I'm giving him, or the what's that word for it? The
Cues, baits, feints. That's the word. Yeah, yeah.
So, and I could be stuck there for a while.
Yeah.
I could give him the notion that he could go for my arm, but I would beat him in the escape towards the execution of his offense. So I pretend that I'm going to give him the arm.
Yeah.
He adjusts, I escape.
Yeah.
And that is a very efficient way for me
It
to
is
escape.
very efficient.
Rather than me trying to force my way out when he's not taking any of the baits. So, there's many levels to jiu-jitsu and to many things in life.
Yeah, there is.
To me, as long as you keep your mind open and you try to find a solution, you will find it.
Okay.
But it may not come instinctively right off the
Yeah,
bat.
yeah. It'll take time to work out what it is.
Yeah.
So there is like a real shining light to your training and everything else from that. One question is, you have all these fights with litigation, with jiu-jitsu, with cancer, and essentially you're also a family man as well. I want to ask, what's your biggest fight outside of all these fights? Take all that stuff away. What is now your biggest fight, do you feel, outside of that realm?
It's the battle with myself, and it's sharing the journey with your close loved ones. It's not easy. Ask any caregiver to a late-stage cancer patient will tell you it's an emotionally tiring process.
Because it's not just you.
It's not just
It's not
me.
just you. It's your family, everyone around
You
you.
have to deal with my poor mental and emotional health at times.
Yeah.
When you are so sick, so unwell, sometimes you're not in the best of mind. You will lash out. You would say things that are not representative.
It's just a reaction. Yeah,
just a reaction.
Yeah.
Because you're so
Well, it's like you're saying when you're in the car crying. It's not because of anything else, just because you're tired.
tired.
So much. I
Just
can't
want
imagine
to-
all the emotions plus the
I'm good for a
physicality.
while, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think my family, it's quite hard for them. And sometimes I have to be the bigger man
Yeah.
to say, look, I should also contribute and make things easier for them as well. It's not always
Yeah.
about me.
Yeah. It is.
Although I would like that to be the case,
Yeah.
and often it is the case,
It is. Yeah.
but it's not always the case. So
Yeah.
sometimes I would take a back seat and try to also pander to them.
Yeah.
I would say mostly my mom and my wife. These two people have to
the
deal with.
hardest. Yeah. Plus they're doing everything to support you and the family. So
Because
yeah.
I'm living with my mom and my wife.
Yeah. Oh, you live in okay. And you got a son as well, right?
My children.
Yeah.
My children are fine because they're young.
You got two kids.
2 kids.
2 kids. Yeah.
My son is autistic, so for him,
That's-
life is good.
That's tough. That's so tough,
It's tough.
as well. Yeah.
That's why I can't die so soon. Every day I wake up, I look at my son. Fuck. I'm gonna make sure I live as long as I can for him.
Yeah. It's
But
amazing.
it is not easy.
Yeah.
With myself as well. Every day I wake up and I tell myself, I have to go on. If it's not for me, it is for them.
And this is my final question I want to ask you. So, in terms of going through this, why you need to go on? I wanted to ask you, what do you define your legacy as in facing mortality? But also, more importantly, what do you define victory and success now in your life?
I think I wouldn't call it success because I somehow don't see that anymore in terms of in life. You have a goal and success.
Yeah.
Really, life is quite meaningless if you don't attach any personal meaning to it. Let's think about it. What is the meaning of our life? Biologically,
Procreate.
is to procreate, to pass on our genetic information to the
Yes.
next generation,
Yes.
and then we can die.
Yeah.
I already have a family, so I've achieved my genetic purpose or my genetic meaning in life. So why am I still living? You have to ascribe meaning to your own life. For me, It is what I can do to impact the life of the people that matter to me. So of course, I would want my family members to have as pleasant a life that they can have with me whilst I'm alive.
Yeah.
So that when I close my eyes for the last time, I can tell myself that, hey, I had a good life with them, and they had a good life with me.
Yeah.
So that in their eulogies of me, they can say something positive. Jun, he was my husband, and while he was not perfect, he was a good husband. Jun, he was my son, and while he was not perfect, he was a good son. And I hope the same can be said of my partners, of my teammates, my friends, my colleagues, and they all say the same thing, that I was relatively somebody who impacted them, at least with one positive thing in their life.
Well, you've already done that with me just in one interaction from the time I've met you to
Like
now.
Jiu-Jitsu for my teammates.
Yeah. Everything you're doing.
Jun trained when he was facing life and death as a cancer patient. Right now, I have a sore thumb. You know what? Tape it up, I'll train it.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
It's amazing.
And if I can just impact people in that little manner, like in the darkest of times when they think, Jun was fighting, I should fight too. And you know what? It's a good life.
It is.
And I would call that success.
I think it is. And look, I'm so thankful for you and who you are as a person, and that you're able to spend time with me today and to share this story with everyone, because I think it's just so important. And you know,
I'm happy to do
it's
other aspects with you and another time.
Yeah.
But today is really more about my struggle.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to know. You know, so thank you so much for sharing. And this is really something very important. And I truly believe that you are a success, and you have the success to show for everything else you're doing. So thanks so much, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. It was truly a pleasure to podcast with Chun today. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see my podcast with Muay Thai phenom Johan Ghazali, you can do so right here. But before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.